Welcome to Sports Medicine on Tap. My name is Brandon O'Line. I'm sitting in Neck of the Woods Brewing Company with my good friend, Dr. Frey. Dr. Frey, how are you?
I'm spectacular.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Just one of those little lulls in our production here. Life gets in the way, and we're both busy
I was about
individuals.
to say the same exact thing. Sometimes life just gets in the way.
It just happens, you know.
Yeah.
And it's how our setup is, and we kind of skip a Tuesday here, and the next thing you know, we skip the second Tuesday, and then it's like, oh snap! It's been like 3 weeks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We
shucks.
are on
Shucks. I heard you.
Yeah. We are here on a Tuesday, which is the opening day for the NBA. We have 2 games tonight.
Yeah.
We're in the midst of the NFL season, so tonight we're going through a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We don't have our focal point like we kind of usually do, but I also love these shows because we kind of go a little bit all over the place.
I do too. It's nice that you're talking about like a whole bunch of different stuff, and I mean, opening day, you got to talk about like what are some of the big injuries from last year? What are we thinking about? And heading into this season.
Yeah. So before we go ahead and go dive into anything, a little fun update from a athletic training standpoint for the state of New Jersey. The governor just signed into law a new practice act for us athletic trainers and changed some things up, which is pretty exciting for us. I just got wind of it from the ATS&J newsletters. So a little change in our practice act, so we have a little bit more of a wider patient base, which is nice. Traditionally it was. The last time it was revised was in 2008, which is like a long time ago if you think about how the world of sports medicine has evolved since then.
Long time ago.
Which is crazy, right? So like previously it was stated that we could only treat athletes explicitly kind of deal. So now it's a physically active individual, so it opens our patient population. So more individuals should have access to athletic trainers.
Perfect.
For healthcare and other things like that. And
that's huge. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and some other...
And appropriate, to be honest.
Yeah, and then it just recognized some other things of, master's degree being our entry-level educational standard. And, it just kind of helped change things up a bit, and I think it was well overdue. So congrats to the folks at the ATS&J and the people who push the government to, like, kind of make some good changes for us as a profession. So
well done.
Well done, and, things are on the horizon for us, hopefully. So we have some good updates with that. So just want to touch base on that before we go diving into the show. Yeah. And as mentioned, we have a lot of NBA stuff here tonight. Yeah. But we got to have little discussion about the NFL just to start the night off.
And some dog walkers' knees and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we go ahead and dive in any deeper, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Virtual Orthopedics and Spine. They have you covered from runner's knee to dog walker's hip to yard work back and laptop wrist. They got a doc for that. So find the right specialist for you at virtual.org/ortho. So last night at these crazy multiple doubleheader Monday Night Football games. It's hard to watch. It's hard to keep up with. A 10 p.m. game is very tough. But in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, Mike Evans went down. He took a good run down the field, took a pretty hard fall.
Right.
Looked like he may have went motionless for a little bit, potentially unconscious.
Didn't look good. Got up and was in a lot of pain. And you would think just from watching the clip, possible concussion, that he got carted off. And then later it was reported that he suffered a fractured clavicle. So big hit for him. Yeah.
The guy's tough as nails. He kind of is a annual hamstring strain kind of guy.
Yeah, a lot of these racehorses are.
But still manages to get 1,000 yards receiving in 11 straight years. And unfortunately this year the streak is going to be over.
Right.
Because now he's going to be out for 6 to 8 additional weeks on top of the hamstring he just came back from. But man, what a streak that comes to an end in unfortunate circumstances. And it's kind of one of those injuries you kind of can't just push through. It's just going to have to be what it is.
Anyone who pays attention to football, I think, realizes just what a good wide receiver he is, but never achieved that sort of household name sort of status, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's odd. I don't quite understand why.
Right.
But just one of the most, or near the top of the list here for like most dominant receivers.
Yeah.
Every year for like 11 straight years, like for a very long time.
I believe he is tied or may have won up Jerry Rice on that record.
Is that right? Really?
I think they're tied now. I think it's going to end at 11, which is like, again, how is he not in the same breath as all those guys?
Yeah.
Like the Jerry Rice, the T.O., the Randy Moss, all those
greatest
greats.
of all time.
Right.
Exactly.
And he's doing these things, and it's like, I don't know. He's
got a lot of people like, who?
Right. Like, and I mentioned these pre-shows that my brother's a big Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, so I'm always reminded of how good Mike Evans is.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's unfortunate to see someone of that caliber go down with injuries, and something so great end in that regard. But
my son and I were watching last night, and he was kind of going back and forth, doing a little bit of work, popping up, coming and watching. And, we actually watched that play, and we both kind of looked at each other like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, it was really hard to see.
Yeah.
Lots of times we see the injury, we have an idea of what's going on there. And, he got up and he moved around, and the way he looked when he was on the ground, it looked like a concussion, but it didn't really look like he hit his head. And then he was like holding his arm, and I'm thinking, stinger? Did he dislocate? Like, I don't quite, he couldn't stand up. He's a little wobbly. I couldn't quite figure it out. And now he did come down on his side. So, I understand the clavicle.
It was
fracture.
a weird angle, and I think there was he was kind of tangled up a little bit. So
just
high velocity falls.
And then you hear about that with a concussion at the same time. And now, all right, I guess this all makes a little bit of sense.
It all makes more sense, right? Like when we were, talking pre-show and whatnot, just how all the events unfolded for him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, now this makes a little more sense, because I didn't watch all of it, but I went back and watched the clip after I saw him get it carted off. I was like, oh man, what happened?
They're carting him off.
They're carting him off. I was like, that's kind of odd. Like, is it his leg? Like, I thought something happened. But and I watched the clip, and I was like,
hamstring was the first thing you think.
Yeah,
but
like a re-injury of the hamstring that he just came back from. But here, that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not done for the year. And
not necessarily.
That's
correct.
A team that looks very good. And, the receiving core is like ridiculous if it's at full strength. I mean, just like off the charts at this point, right?
But unfortunately, just get banged up. And I mean, it's crazy that they have Mike Evans, Godwin, and
Ibuka,
Like, he's, as a rookie, he's doing so good. And he went down with a hamstring, like I think a week ago, barely missed any time, and he's back already, and he looked good.
That's happens to the young guys.
Yeah, the young guys bounce back quick, and then you have someone like Mike Evans who needed a couple weeks to kind of rehab a little bit.
Not a young guy.
Not a young guy anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with Chris Godwin. I think his availability is going to be a big part of their success going forward. And they just went down. Bucky Irving's down as well.
That's right. Rashad.
All their starting key players are down right now.
I don't even know what his injury was. I hate to say it. I'm not sure if you know off the top of your head.
I think it's a foot injury, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he was put on IR.
Was he?
I think so.
But that's not season. That's 4 weeks.
4 weeks, about 4 weeks. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Rashad White's holding it down with Sean Tucker's backup.
Which is good. Also good.
Yeah, and they both can do pretty well. Yeah. I mean, Baker Mayfield's playing pretty darn good.
Lights out, man. I got to tell you, watching him sling the ball around the field yesterday, and I've come to appreciate him over the course of the last year and a half.
Yeah.
But, like, man, he throws with zip. He throws with accuracy. He's a tough guy. He's always very frustrating for me. I thought he was very good when he was on Cleveland. I was surprised when he got traded from Cleveland.
Yeah.
I was happy he got traded from Cleveland, right? But like, man, that guy has really elevated his game.
Yeah.
It is truly amazing across the board how many of these sort of
like the journeyman in the NFL kind of deal.
Yeah. This is the year of the journeyman, right? Yeah. Like Sam Darnold looked incredible last night.
Goodness,
Holy
right?
crap.
Talk about Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, and that's another one who's just like playing lights out. And granted, he went from the Vikings, great receiver core, goes to Seahawks, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is lighting it up. The kid is amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have him in two
I knew
fantasy
he was good.
leagues. So
I didn't think he was this good.
No, I agree with you. Like, I honestly thought the absence of DK Metcalf and the departure of Tyler Lockett was going to affect him in some sort of way.
I think it did. It made him better.
And they bring Cooper Kupp, who's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And he's just lighting it up.
Couple decent other wide receivers, but like he's like the one man show, just phenomenal,
killing it.
Yeah. And then the other like as much as I hate to say it, is like Steelers have Aaron Rodgers, like he's 106, and then of course and they go they play
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Flacco was like 112, and they both looked really good.
Yeah,
that wasn't the problem with either offense.
That Thursday night game was probably one of the best that we've had in a while.
Throwing punches left and right.
And just going back and forth. And I mean,
credit to the Bengals for clock management, handling it the way they did, and closing it out the way they did.
And I mean, not that it's an easy job, but what a nice setup for Joe Burrow's absence, Joe Flacco to come in.
Yeah.
And he's got some of the best receivers to throw to.
Right. Could be the best receiving core right now as they're healthy.
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins have been lighting it up for
ridiculous
years. And now they have someone who knows how to play the game very well.
Right.
And it's pretty simple. Get the ball to your best players. Yeah. And I think Jamar Chase had, 11 or 16 catches.
I don't want to talk about
something ridiculous. You know what I mean?
And he gets the ball out. He still throws a really nice ball.
Yeah. He still can do it. He still can sling it, which is pretty impressive for someone at his age. It's like, Okay, see what happens. I mean, the Bengals are at least they keeping their door open to be relevant this year.
Yeah,
with the
and we talked about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like oh, Burrow's out for a while. There's by the time he comes back, if they're out of it, then they shut it down. Who knows? Like doesn't look like they're going to be out of it.
Now that they kind of went away with the Browning idea and that it's not going to be, and they take Flacco. The crazy situation for Cleveland to give him Flacco. It's like you just handed a divisional rival obviously something good because it's working out right now.
So my hope is, we'll see, is that Flacco knows how to beat the Steelers. He does.
100%, yeah.
He knows how, he's been playing them forever. He knows how to beat them. And, it's kind of my own selfish little take on it is that hopefully he doesn't have that continued success as he continues to play other teams. This way, hopefully the Steelers can win that division outright. But I don't know. I'm not so confident at this point.
And that division in itself is just interesting. I mean, the Ravens are banged up, not doing so great, but Lamar comes
I still
back.
Can't believe that.
Right. Like, if Lamar comes back and Derrick Henry remembers how to hold on to the ball, it's a whole different story. And then
so different. And, I look at I think they're 1-5 right now, and I'm like, could it be done? I know they're not done.
No.
I've seen the show before. They're going to just make a run, and I
mean, all they got to do is hit a wild card. They get a wild card spot. They can change. They can flip the script and be
they
fine.
may still win the division outright. That's just what they do.
Yeah. So again, we just had to touch on the NFL a little bit, but
it's impossible not to go down.
It's impossible not to go down with so many injuries every week and all these things going on.
Yeah.
But we want to go into the NBA a little deep dive here, and we touch on some things that we've talked about already from last year. We're going into kind of a quasi-historic season and a little bit of LeBron James playing at the age of 40.
Man.
Wonder if he's going to be able to play at a high level.
My sciatica.
So we could just dive right into it. I mean, so LeBron James is currently sidelined with a sciatica injury. And I think when this got released, I don't know, last week or two, I sent it to you, a screenshot. I said, old man injury is creeping in.
That's right. And you can't help but giggle a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, right? But I think the biggest thing with that is sciatica is kind of like a household term. Most people know what it is, or at least they kind of deal with it.
Right.
But I don't think we've ever really talked about it on our show for the most part.
Right. Yeah. Mostly old man disease sort of a thing. It truly is.
Yeah.
And I guess he's dealing with it, and it's basically a form of something called a radiculopathy, which is where you have a nerve getting pinched as it leaves your lower back, and depending on what level of your lower back it is, that nerve is getting pinched for a variety of reasons. Oftentimes there's a little bit of a herniated disc involved in this, and then you get pain, burning, numbness, tingling, sometimes weakness, wherever that nerve goes in terms of what parts of your body does it give you sensation to, or what muscles does it actually innervate or give a signal to. And sometimes you get that with back pain, sometimes not too much pain in the back, it's just pain, numbness, tingling, burning, whatever it is going down the leg. And it's a classic old man problem. And he's been amazing, right? This guy
100%.
But age catches up with everybody, and this is one of those things. Especially, he's not a small man.
No, he's a big guy.
He is a big guy.
A lot of weight to be moved around, a lot of explosiveness in his game.
Yeah.
I mean, he still can throw it up and dunk the ball really hard and just do so many athletic things.
Yeah.
But like you said, Father Time is undefeated, and that some things are catching up with him. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, last year he had a lot of groin and hip and soft tissue stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, and all those things just kind of affect his explosiveness, his speed, his power.
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean, I know LeBron is, it's talked about how much money he spends on his body, his recovery and stuff all that's great, but it's just one of those things. After a certain amount of time,
eventually everybody's
going to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how his numbers look at the, fast forward to the end of the year. I saw a Instagram post of a bunch of different slides of all these people who play 20 plus years in the NBA.
Right.
Their stats are not impressive by any means. It's all under 5 to 10 points a game at best.
They're just there.
They're
leaders.
And then at the end of it, of course, was LeBron, and he had 20 plus points a game, and he's doing all these things he's still playing at a high level.
He's still one of the better players in the league. Yeah. I don't want to say best, but I can see a scenario where if he's in the playoffs and he just has to dig deep for a few games, it's LeBron.
Yeah, it's LeBron James, 100%. Yeah,
right.
I would probably take an old man LeBron James over than kind of a rising star
anybody.
who's never been there before, someone who has the experience and knows what it takes.
Right.
he may be your best option, and
Yeah.
the Lakers may have a chance to kind of figure it out with now they have Luka.
Right.
You know, Luka's there, so
They're going to be formidable again.
yeah, they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be relevant. They're not
Yeah.
gonna just go by the wayside.
Yeah.
LeBron's not just gonna stink all year unless
Yeah.
you know he gets banged up and is just injury riddled the whole
That
year.
would be the only issue.
Yeah.
If it's an injury riddled year, if he can get his back into shape, which I think that he will,
Yeah.
I can foresee a scenario where there is a little bit of load management, or maybe
Right.
he's taking time off here and there just to keep himself in the game. But he's in that good a shape, and he's
Yeah.
that and he changed his game like Michael Jordan right down the stretch. Like
Right.
Michael Jordan could do anything, but wasn't a great shooter, outside shooter, pretty good.
Yeah.
And Jordan changed his game as he got older and became this phenomenal clutch shooter. And
Right.
So was LeBron. Like he's done
Yeah.
that, right? And that's absolutely prolongs his career.
Yeah.
So you know you could see that as a way for him. But I feel like LeBron hasn't fully given up that physical, explosive
100%,
go to the
yeah.
net portion
Yeah.
of his game.
Yeah, he still. I mean, at least last year, he still could drive the lane. He could still do all the things that he needed to do.
Yeah.
But if he needed to, he just pulled up and shot the ball, and he did pretty good.
Yeah, he's
Like-
gotten very good at that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, and he's clutch. He is.
Yeah, I mean, so. But I think the interesting part is that after all these years, I think this is like his first time missing opening night, if ever.
Is that
You know,
right?
I believe so. I don't know exactly if it's true, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's ever really come to season like banged up and like not on
Yeah.
the opening day roster to be active. So
Yeah. And he accomplished the goal playing with his son. You
Yep.
know, pretty extraordinary. I take it now they're looking at another year together. And
right.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. And I mean, just something that you can't talk about the NBA and not mention LeBron James, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things that just kind of can't go without.
And my gut, you know, I don't know the details on this. And we always say the devil's in the details. We don't have access to his actual medical chart.
Correct.
And we're not talking about like his specific injury. We're just talking about this particular problem overall. Typically with this, it does tend to wax and wane. You're better, it flares up, you have a problem. You're better, it tends to flare up, you have a problem. My gut is that he's not out that long here at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season. If anything, I would say maybe they go slowly because they're just gonna, they're gonna slow walk him back. They're just
Yeah.
gonna let him shorten the season for him so he has a little, it doesn't sustain quite the same beating over the course of the full
Yeah.
year.
And at the same time with that, they kind of want him to peak at the right time,
Right.
right? You want him to be in prime time LeBron form and when it counts,
Yeah,
the first couple games, not that they're not important, but,
Yeah.
End of the season is when you need them down the stretch is what they're going to be focusing on.
for sure.
And then to go down to a former teammate of LeBron, which you can almost say almost anybody at this rate because he's played for so long. Kyrie Irving with the Dallas Mavericks is coming back from an ACL. He suffered torn ACL in March 2025.
Yeah.
And expectations.
Always an interesting guy.
Always. Interesting way, speculation right now is that he's coming back somewhere mid-season of this year. So you say give or take 9 months-ish.
Yeah.
Talking December.
Yeah.
Maybe comes back at the start of January.
There's
but
still some basketball to be played at that point.
plenty of time to
Yeah.
play. Good thing for at least Dallas they have a decent roster.
Right.
They got Anthony Davis coming back.
Yeah, we think.
Well, yeah, right. Another one that we could talk about too. He had a little bit of a interesting offseason with a eye surgery, and now he's going to be rocking the recreational glasses, the rec specs for the rest of his career, from what I read.
Yeah, they'll detach retina.
Yeah, so that's never something never something you want to play with, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how and when Kyrie comes back, and kind of how the status of the Dallas Mavericks are after they kind of a little bit of a fire sale last year, and they kind of got rid of, Luka going away.
Still don't understand it.
No. Interesting. If you go into some deep dive of some articles about their medical staff, their head athletic trainers, and there's all the different thing with their management, and I read a couple crazy articles about there's some disgruntled people in the room, and then things kind of started sparsing out and changing things up, and that's what led to that Luka trade.
Downward spirals.
Downward spiral, and then granted they got AD, which is good.
Yeah.
But he came back, and when he started playing for him, I believe he had a pretty wicked adductor strain that sidelined him for a while once he started.
Right.
Then he had the eye injury, so we'll see what it comes back. And I think some people were speculating, at least for Anthony Davis' sake, that he came into camp a little heavy.
Yeah.
Didn't look so great, but his defense was like, I kind of always come into camp a little heavy because I like to lose weight throughout the season, and so I don't lose it and become smaller. I just kind of lose it throughout the year, and I'm at my game weight essentially coming in.
Tough to argue.
Tough to argue, right?
It's not always healthy the whole year either.
Correct.
So.
Right. He doesn't have the cleanest slate off the injury report as well. I'm going to jump a little bit. We're talking about coming in the camp in shape.
Yeah.
And I'll go down to Zion Williamson.
So wait, do we think that Kyrie's coming back then, or no? What do we think his situation's going to be?
I think he comes back this year at some point, right? Like,
Kyrie cares about Kyrie.
Yeah, 100%. And I think he's more focused on being 150,000% better than
150,000
than rushing back.
Yeah.
And I think it's also going to be kind of like a season outlook thing. Like if they're doing well, or if they're doing awful and not coming back, I think that slows his return a little bit. And maybe like, okay, maybe this year I'll get in a couple end of games, just get my feet wet.
Yeah.
And then I'll worry about it come next year.
I think he's a very bright guy. And I think he just marches to the beat of a different drummer a little bit when it comes to sports sometimes. And to be honest with you, like sometimes some of his thoughts or sort of out there statements are really like, if you really drill down and you're like, yeah, I guess it makes some sense.
Yeah.
But I think it also rubs teammates the wrong way sometimes. It rubs administration. And like, you wonder if he was someone who, and it's wrong for me to say this because I don't really know that he's not entirely dedicated to the game.
Right.
And I don't know if you can criticize someone for choosing to not be entirely dedicated to the game. But he's one of those guys that may have been able to be like one of the best ever.
100%.
Had he been like he was, what a gifted athlete.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like there's arguments that no one has better ball handling skills than Kyrie Irving across the board.
What he can do. Yeah.
And just, I mean, like you go watch some highlights and it's like, holy cow, how does a man dribble the ball like that?
When he wants to, when he's pissed.
Yeah. Oh, when he's like locked, like when he's in that like that flow state, it's like unstoppable.
God. Yeah.
But I think it's something to be said too of getting into that form of that high elite caliber athlete after a significant injury like an ACL tear.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
You never we talk about it like we just talked, like if he's locked in, he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
But who's to say that there could be a mental block and he can't lock in as well as he could anymore. Like I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL just kind of like a classic drive to lane, plant, twist, pivot, maybe that's a mental block and he might not be able to do that as well going forward. And again, we don't know this. I'm not saying he is, but it's just one of those things like the sports psychology world of this and coming back from a significant injury. These things kind of happen. You might see a decline, and he's like, could never be the same.
Maybe. We always worry about that.
Always something to worry about.
It is a possibility.
Right. I don't know. I don't think he's playing until he's 40.
Even without the injury, he's probably on the downside of the
100%. So it's interesting to see how that kind of turns out. I mean, the Dallas Mavericks could turn around and figure it out with,
they could be pretty good.
Kyrie, AD, they could definitely be a
formidable
problem. Formidable problem. Looking into, I'm going to skip again kind of down our list here.
Sure.
I think a big injury that kind of took the NBA by storm a little bit last year was the Achilles tendon ruptures.
All of them.
There's so many of them. There was a big one, but the big ones were Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, for at least Halliburton, it happened at the last possible game of the year, Game 7 of the finals, right? So, like, I don't think he's playing this year. It's just not in the cards for him.
Right.
Same thing with Jason Tatum. I believe he got injured in the playoffs.
Right.
Damian Lillard went down with it as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to say, but I don't think we're seeing these guys this year. Like or you're going to see him in like a late off the bench playoff situation because of the timeline of what they got to do for their injuries.
I think it is possible that they play this year. Like it's certainly right. I think pretty traditionally we think about Achilles tendon tears as 9-month injuries till you're playing again. Sometimes 6 months until you're playing again. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that they're playing again this year. Although I can also see a scenario where any one of those guys does not play. Now that said, if they do play, I think they're a little bit of a shell of themselves for this season. So even if they do play, there's a little bit of risk in coming back. There always is with that particular injury.
Yeah.
And then if they do come back, like the strength isn't there, the explosiveness isn't there. Now you can train, you could do things, but it's just really, really hard to maintain that.
Yep.
It just is. Mm-hmm. And so if they do come back, it's just They're going to be. In fact, I would say maybe Dame Lillard has the best chance because his game doesn't rely on that explosiveness quite as much as it does for Tatum and Halliburton.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see is that Damian Lillard went back to Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's back in his regular
his
place now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like I'm more comfortable there, or if I don't think this might be the kind of the last end of the road here, and I'm just going to end. It's the fourth quarter of my career. I'm just going to end it where I started and kind of go out and whatever, because chasing the trophy with the Bucks didn't work out so great.
Almost
had it, and then now we're going to go back home and try to figure it out from there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
The East is totally different this year, right? Like think about the whole conference. What happened?
Yeah,
it's
just wide open for anyone to.
Boston does not look the same right now without Tatum, right?
Right.
Indianapolis does not look the same without Halliburton.
100%.
The Bucks do not look the same. They could still be good, but it's not the same.
Yeah, Giannis can carry them, but they looked a lot better with Giannis and Damian Lillard. So
sure, right. It's sort of shocking, but all of a sudden it's wide open. Really, the Knicks are looking pretty good. Right. Cleveland's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's surprising. I'm curious about Atlanta. Yeah, we'll see. How it goes.
And I think that's the exciting part too. Is when you get the conference is so open, so many different people, all these different pieces moving around off season. I don't even know all the off season acquisitions.
It's hard.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah,
I probably won't really get a hold of it, and for at least 2 months into the season, when you get remembering of, okay, he's on that team now, he's going there.
You notice there was one mention in the one team in the East that I did not mention when I talked about it being wide open, and they have an awful lot of names on this list to talk about.
Good old 76ers, right? So as mentioned, as always, we are quasi-biased to Philly sports here, and who better to talk about than our most talked about athlete in the world here, Joel Embiid,
who does not carry an injury designation going into tomorrow night.
Into opening night, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But also, really important.
At what point is it an injury, and at what point is it just arthritis?
Yeah. At what point in time is he going to have problems with that knee again?
Right.
He's a very large human.
Yeah.
There's a lot of force going through that knee, and is he going to be able to change his game enough to where he's not putting that much load on it and not putting that much stress on it? I don't know. I think.
Is he also? Is he going to be? Can he be some semblance of the same player?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has lost a lot of weight apparently.
He came in the training camp in the preseason looking really good. He's done pretty well in the games he's played in the preseason.
There's no question, they're a different team when he's on the floor.
100%.
It's not even close. And they have a fair amount of good young talent to go along with a lot of old guys.
They got Kyrie Lowry on his 20-plus years in the league. He's 39 years old, I think we looked up. They got Paul George, who's 35.
Yeah, going on 46.
With who
was
also
great at times in his career.
Yeah.
But,
who's also had pretty significant injuries. He had the very wicked tib-fib fracture.
Way back when,
Way back when. He just got arthroscopic knee surgery back in July. So he's I believe he's been participating in full capacity, but they're not playing him yet. Just
giving some time.
Giving some time, right? Again, same idea with these old guys. You don't want their best in the first month of the season. You want their best towards the tail end when playoffs are in the implications, and everybody else is when it's crunch time, and you kind of get them going that way.
They've got that point position locked down, though, right? Yeah. Like Tyrese.
Yeah.
Right. And then
they got Maxey,
McCain.
and then hopefully you figure out what's going on with McCain and Edgecombe for sure. But it's frustrating is that you have Jarrett McCain, who had a little bit of a flash of being a good player.
He looked really good last year.
And then the meniscus took him out for the year.
Yeah.
Then in September of this year, he tears his UCL in his thumb, gets surgery.
Yeah. Bad luck.
Very unfortunate, but very problematic for basketball.
Sure.
It's one thing-ish in football, you can tape that thing up and deal with it, but in the dexterity needed for basketball, you kind of need that UCL to be really intact.
I agree.
It's tough. When we're teaching our student athletic trainers how to tape, it's all right, tape this for a basketball player. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, they have to be dexterous and use your thumb, but they also have to be protected. So how are you going to do that?
How are you going to do? Yeah.
And it's tough because basketball players don't like all that tape on their wrist. Some of them might do a little wrist taping just for stability or comfort, But once you start getting into the hands and fingers, it changes their whole game up.
I know.
So, I think he's looking at maybe like an early November comeback, which is only a couple weeks away, which is great.
Yeah.
If we can get him in the mix and kind of figure it out and get him rolling and, kind of rely on him to be a shooter.
That is one of those injuries where people do, once they heal, they tend to do well with it.
Right. 100%. Yeah. But, the problem with basketball and fingers is like that ball, when it's moving around the court real fast, you stick your hand out, try to get it, and it bends one of them fingers back. It's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think
that's absolutely true.
And it's like, I was talking to somebody about this today, actually, like just how finger injuries are just like such a nuisance, but so overlooked in general of just like, oh, it's just a finger. But then you kind of do these sports where you need all of it, and it becomes problematic.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with the Sixers core, if you will.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Sixers' success is almost like 100% reliant on Joel Embiid's health.
It does. It hinges on what is he doing and how is he playing, and hopefully they're like, they hopefully his knee holds up.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's smart about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they manage him well. And I sort of hate to say that, but it's gotten to that point where like just manage him, try to get him to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think at this point last year, the playoffs were a foregone conclusion for the Sixers. Mm-hmm. And then, I remember like a month into the season, maybe 6 weeks into the season, I think we were actually doing a show and we were like, well, when they get to the playoffs, and I was like, are they even going to make it?
Right.
And it wasn't long after that like it started to tank. And like we realized Embiid is not coming back. And then they reached a point where they tank, right? Mm-hmm. Like
it just meant, and then Paul George went out, and then it just kind of crumbled. It's kind of like a very risky play in the world of professional sports. You get these guys who are a little bit older, but you know that what they have, they know what they could do.
Yeah, if they're there.
But then that's the gamble of, but then they become unavailable, and then it's like, oh, they're not worth much anymore if they're riding the bench.
Well, they do have a few good young players, to their credit. They've been able to. The Tyrese Maxey pick. I almost hate to say it, but like he doesn't slide to them unless the previous year is shortened by COVID, and like it's a little bit of like everyone's sort of stabbing at it. No one really knows the players going into that draft.
No, for sure.
They get lucky with that. I think that they got lucky with McCain. He seems like he's going to be the real deal.
Yeah, and I think.
And then they kind of got lucky in the lottery last year to be able to get Edgecombe. So like there's some potential there.
Looked pretty well so far. So that's really good, at least for us in that regard.
Right.
To have that in our back pocket and see how they all mix in all these young guys and figure it out.
Right.
And I think if Maxey continues to elevate his game, we can be pretty good.
Yeah. Finally, I think he's probably getting the respect nationally that I feel like he's gotten locally. Like people really.
No, I agree with you on that one for sure. And then to go with some other young talent in the NBA here, Victor Wembanyama, who we dedicated an episode to back in. I think in February of last year.
We had Dr. Webner on.
Yeah,
that was good.
So he had a little bit of deep vein thrombosis in his upper extremity, a blood clot in his right shoulder. He was reportedly cleared to play back in July, well ahead of the season. And I heard that he's done a lot of work in the offseason. He's had a really hard training camp or training to get into camp and preseason. Looking pretty good. It doesn't seem like he has any complications from the previous injury. And I was reading somewhere too, it's like it doesn't seem like he has a condition where he should be worried about blood clots in the future. It was just kind of like a freak thing that happened.
Was there an underlying thoracic outlet syndrome? I thought there was. I'm
not sure.
Yeah.
But at least from some articles I've read, they don't think it's going to be a continual problem, which is good for the Spurs.
Oh, tremendous for the Spurs.
They should be able to kind of.
This guy's a force.
Yeah. And again, you build your franchise off of a number one pick like that.
Right.
And see what they can do. And hopefully they kind of figure that out and they keep riding their wave a little bit. And
if there isn't an associated thoracic outlet syndrome, then that's tremendous news for them. If they did have to do one of the surgeries that they do for thoracic outlet, sometimes it's like a first rib resection or whatnot. The prognosis for baseball pitchers when they have that is a little more grim than it is, let's say, for an NBA player.
Right.
In a perfect world, he doesn't get it, right? But even if he had to do it, I still think there's still a nice high ceiling for him. Mm-hmm. And then it's wonderful news if he doesn't have to deal with anticoagulation or that other jazz. That's huge. That's tremendous.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know who else is on. Again, I don't know the rosters that well yet. I'm kind of in prime NFL form here.
I know. But all 4 sports going right now.
Yeah, it's
right?
the best
Actually
time.
5 soccer, right? Like,
Yeah. And we got the World Series starting. We're on the cusp of that. The Game 7 was just last night.
Right.
With that big 3-run home run by Springer there, which is crazy.
Yeah.
What a wild turn of events for the playoffs this year. Like the Blue Jays are in this World Series, which is pretty impressive. It's,
right.
I
Looked
do
like the Mariners were going to have
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that they had the I think it was neighboring stadiums were partying last night.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Seattle couldn't pull it off and have
that party ended.
Yeah, that party ended a little quick there.
Toronto's been building for the last few years. Like they've been on that cusp and going, and it's sort of nice to see them get back there. The Dodgers.
Or the Dodgers.
It's not fair.
No, they're just so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy all the things that they have on all the things they can do, and all the people they have on their roster are just so good. They have all those starting pitchers coming out of the bullpen who are just injured, and now they're just all over the place.
Right.
I mean, Shohei Ohtani is a freak of a
It's
person.
like cheating. It's unbelievable.
It's a real life cheat code.
Right.
Right.
And he hasn't been that great in the playoffs until
it mattered, and then he pitched to lights out and then hit 3 home runs or whatever the case was. And
then he wins his game on his own.
Which is, and I think, I was not arguing with anybody, but there was like a mild training room debate the other day of like Shohei Ohtani shouldn't have gotten the MVP of that series. And I was like, well, I get it. He just hasn't done great from the from at bat. The
whole
playoffs.
series
wasn't great, but he just did something that's never been done before.
Right.
Like that and alone, you make a historical moment like that. Yeah, you should get it.
You just get it.
You just get it. It's like, oh, here you go. And I was also reading something crazy is that the Dodgers have made his contract money back already in advertising deals and marketing in Japan and everywhere else across seas because of how big he is over there. You
mean like $0 because his money isn't even counted against them at this particular point, which is insane.
Yeah, that's $700 million. That $700 million contract they have, they've made that money back in marketing deals in Japan and all over. And apparently, like, you can't, I don't know exactly, but like apparently from what I read and different things, like you can't walk around Japan without seeing Shohei Ohtani somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like you have someone who's like an international sensation.
Yeah. I was short of the Pirates. I don't think there's a team that wouldn't sign him despite his price, no matter what, right? Like it's insane.
Yeah.
And I joke around and say tongue in cheek about the Pirates because they have a history of letting their good players go.
Right.
Letting their good players walk. But like I'm not surprised to hear that. It's when it's all said and done, of course it's not there yet, but when it's all said and done, will likely be the greatest player to have ever lived. And an international star, not just in the U.S.
Right. All over the world. Yeah. Like it's just going to be one of those things where he's going to take the world of sport on an international level by storm, and he's going to be doing it probably for a long time. When he's done in MLB, he'll probably do some celebrity spotlights or like guest appearances in other leagues around the world and do a little, especially back in Japan or whatever the case is.
Right. And to think he almost blew it all on some ridiculous betting thing.
Right.
This is me just being angry because he's so good and he's on the other team.
No, yeah, 100%. The Dodgers beat the Phillies pretty good, and
they're a good team, right? Like, and I knew it coming into the playoffs. Like, there's no way this team isn't not going to be in the running down the stretch. Like they're built for October. They are,
and that's kind of like what we mentioned to kind of circle around and full circle everything. It's like you want your best players to peak at the right time,
right?
And that right time is in the postseason.
Yeah,
and the Dodgers did that. They had all those starting pitchers hurt early in the season.
Yeah.
They kind of brought them back, and now they got a killer rotation, killer bullpen.
Yeah.
Their bats are figuring it out. They're doing really good. And
yeah.
And
last year when they won it, they won it with relief pitching. They really didn't have a starting rotation.
Right.
It was pretty amazing what they were able to pull off. Now they have.
Now they have it. Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I forget the other pitcher's name, but I thought he had like a complete game in the NLCS and did really well, and that's huge. You don't touch your bullpen.
Save
everybody's arm.
Right.
And now, last year was like Freddie Freeman battled through injuries and figured it out and did really well. And he was MVP last year, I believe, in the World Series.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Right. I think he was.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing what these guys can do
Yeah.
in October. Like, that's when you want them to be at their greatest. And sure enough.
So with that, does Embiid play tomorrow night and then not again until the playoffs? Like how?
Yeah, we can play a little game of prediction here. I mean, this isn't the only time we're talking about Joel Embiid this year.
No. Yeah.
Like,
it may not be the only time we're talking about him this week.
Yeah. So I think we'll see what happens. Hopefully, as a Sixers fan, he stays healthy. They manage his load.
Yeah.
We may not see him in back-to-back games at all this year.
Yeah. I honestly, I feel like that would be smart.
And
Something
I feel like at this rate, let's do that with just alternate when Paul George and Joel Embiid kind of play. So we have some kind of really good guy on the court and mix them in with the young guys, and hopefully they figure it out and they can run, their A squad and B squad, and they figure it out and still win games. Which is someone else that I think I skipped over a little bit here for load management would be Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, right.
For the Clippers, who we've done some episodes about him as well. Long history of knee inflammation. Apparently, he's looking really good in preseason, kind of unrestricted. And finally, I read somewhere, he goes, I can finally play without having to check in with doctors and physical therapists after every session that I'm doing. So I think that's really good for the Clippers.
Yeah. Good prognostic.
And, I saw one article and it kind of just said he looks real sharp. And he's like, when Kawhi Leonard's on, man, watch out.
Yeah.
Devastating. And I think that's another guy who's just kind of had a little bit of an asterisk next to his career. Like, he's had a bad knee for a while.
Right.
And he's had, back to when he was with the Spurs, I think it started.
Yeah.
In Toronto, kind of was iffy. And then this whole saga with the Clippers has been on and off.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
thing, which there's been if anyone listens to Deep Dive, the Clippers and the Kawhi Leonard and the treatment of that, you can go find some articles about some interesting stories with that too.
Sure.
So I think it'll be an interesting year. I mean, it's always fun at the start of a new year. You don't know we don't know who's going to win.
And Zion, you said, apparently showed up in great shape finally. Man, talk about a guy who has the potential to be a first.
Right, and that's another guy who just can't dodge that injury bug, right? Like, come on, man. Like, if he was a stud in college. He's had flashes in the NBA. If he can stay okay.
When he's healthy,
he's just in the same breath of like Embiid, one of the best out there.
Yeah.
If he's available.
Right. Yeah, I would. My gut is that Embiid plays 50% of the games this year.
Yeah.
And I hate to say, I feel as though maybe I'm being a little bit optimistic. I would love to be wrong about this.
Right. 100%.
But my gut is that's how that story goes.
No, I kind of would agree with you. And
is the team good enough in those games without him?
The balance, like I mentioned before, of using Paul George and Joel Embiid, I think you kind of have to play the game of bouncing between both of them. Have the Paul George night, have an Embiid night, and then let the young kids keep running around with the old guys when they're available, and see what happens and see what it
sure they love that too.
Yeah, right.
chance to rise.
Yeah, a chance to rise a little bit, and I mean it does. Like, you see a young team like the OKC Thunder who won it all last year. A lot of young talent.
Yeah.
Rose to the occasion.
Yeah. And I feel like that holds true with basketball frequently. And I feel teams make this mistake a lot. I feel like the Knicks did it all the time. And you see it a little bit happening now with the Sixers also is, people try to blend veteran presence and youthful exuberance.
Yeah.
And when teams start to falter a little bit more towards probably affordable, high-priced veteran, high-ish priced veteran presence, and neglect some of that youthful exuberance in basketball, it never works.
Yeah.
You really only need one or two of those leadership older guys, and really, like in that game, it's all about youth. It is all about youth. It's
all
such
about
a demanding
spark and
game. Spark and explode. Yeah, very much.
And the young guys have that, not the old guys.
Yeah, there's guys like LeBron, and there's a few of those like unicorns that are out there. But outside of that, like every team that said, "Oh, we'll take that guy who's winding down and that guy who's winding down," they never make it to the end.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, because those old guys just don't have it in the
Right.
tank. It is a young man's sport. It's very explosive.
Very much. Yeah.
Hard to be that explosive for so long.
It is. Yeah. It is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a good start. I mean, like, we'll be a couple days into the NBA when the show gets released. So hopefully nothing crazy happens between now and then. And
Agreed.
we'll keep an eye on this. And now we have all the sports kind of Our sports equinox is about to happen soon.
This is it, yeah.
This is it when the World Series is going. The NHL's on in the background right now. NFL games and everything. It's going to be a great time.
Good time of year, yeah.
Anything else before we close out our tab here, Dr. Frey?
No, just giving a little bit of a shout out to the
Absolutely
poker thumb or whatever it is.
Before we go ahead and close out our tab for the evening, folks, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Virtual Orthopedics and Spine. From runner's knee to dog walker's hip, they got a doc for that. We're back and laptop wrist, they have a doc for that too. Virtual Orthopedics and Spine has over 120 providers, over 20 PT and rehab facilities, and more than 25 surgical centers all across South Jersey. So find the right specialist for you at virtual.org/ortho. Neck of the Woods Brewing Company, giving us the best, tastiest beers in the local area. I had a nice Malibu Bay Breeze sour tonight. Pretty
really
tasty,
good.
very
really
good.
Sour, yeah.
And then Timber Real Productions, our guy Kyle, hooking us up, getting all this multimedia out for everybody on all our different avenues, from social media, YouTube, and anywhere you can find this podcast. So we appreciate everybody who helps us. Stay safe. Have a great day, evening, whenever you listen to us, and we'll catch you next time, folks.